They found the skull of what they believe is a new species of human, which could be our closest evolutionary relative.
It moved too fast to be bound to the sun. Very first object that we have found coming to us from interstellar space, from other places.
With the dawn of scientific exploration and archaeological endeavors, man has come in contact with a lot of mysterious items, relics, and locales that defy terrestrial origin. Some of these discoveries have indeed revealed that extraterrestrial entities exist, while others hint at long-lost human societies that had connections to another realm. What are the most mind-blowing discoveries ever made? Join us as we explore 20 most astonishing discoveries ever made, unveiling objects that defy conventional explanations. The mysterious Dropa stones. A man named Chi Pu Tei led a team of archaeologists in 1938 to explore the Baian-Kara-Ula mountains located on China's border. During this expedition, they found some unusual stone discs about 12 inches in diameter. The discs had a spiral groove emanating from the center to the rim, and they had small hieroglyphs inscribed on them. These unusual objects are what we now know as the Dropa stones. Attempts to unravel the mystery symbols on the stones have proved unsuccessful. Many decades later, it was reported that a Russian scientist, Dr. Tsum Umnui, attempted to crack the code. It has never been verified whether he really succeeded in cracking these codes or not. But according to this Russian scientist, the hieroglyphs tell a story about a distant planet that crashed into the Baian-Kara-Ula mountains 12,000 years ago, at the same location where Chi Pu Tei and his team of archaeologists recovered the Dropa stones. Following the crash, the beings involved were stranded on Earth. They claimed they had no ill intentions, yet they were ostracized by the local Ham tribes. The Russian scientists also claimed the Dropa stones contained alien knowledge. Information on the Dropa stones isn't popular knowledge because archaeologists are skeptical about their authenticity. In the present day, the Dropa stones aren't studied in research facilities or displayed in any museums. It is currently unknown if the information on the stones is false or if they are simply being hidden from the public. Another concerning object that might not be from planet Earth is an interesting book that no one has been able to read. Voynich's Manuscript of Knowledge. The pages of the Voynich manuscript look like nothing from this world. The book contains illustrations and an unknown script known as Voynichese. This manuscript was discovered by a Polish book dealer, Wilfrid Voynich, who purchased it in 1912. The manuscript was named after this man, hence the name of the Voynich manuscript. It has also been dated as far back as the 15th century. The manuscript, which has sections on herbal, astronomical, pharmacological, and biological topics, numbers up to 240 pages. There are signs that some of these pages are missing. Stylistic analysis of this book suggests that it was written in the Italian Renaissance. However, nobody knows its origins or authors. A puzzling section in the book is the herbal one. This is because this section shows plant species that do not exist on planet Earth. Similarly, the astronomical section of the manuscript contains information on zodiac signs, stars, and planets that are alien and unknown to mankind. Over the years, linguists from different parts of the world have tried to study and decipher the contents of this strange manuscript. Even cryptographers have attempted to unravel the mystery behind the Voynich manuscript. There are certain theories in the book that suggest advanced knowledge of astronomy and botany. However, the information in the book cannot be accessed as no one has been able to decode a single word in it. The mystery of this book has sparked speculation. One of them is that this manuscript is extraterrestrial. Aside from stones and manuscripts, there have been traces of people who are not natives of planet Earth. The fascinating Starchild Skull. The Starchild Skull was first discovered in one of Mexico's mine tunnels near Copper Canyon in the 1930s. Not much was known about it until Lloyd Pye put it in the spotlight in the 1990s. He claimed he obtained the skull from Ray and Melanie Young of El Paso, Texas, and that the skull was found in a mine tunnel, buried with a skeleton lying face up. The skull is much smaller than the average adult human skull, which suggests why it is called the Starchild Skull. Although the skull's bone is thin, it appears strong, and its biochemical composition has never been seen before. The skull suggests it had a brain that's larger than that of the average human. It doesn't look like a human skull either. DNA tests suggest the Starchild Skull is alien. However, critics claim such evidence is inconclusive. They argued that the skull's peculiar nature could stem from genetic conditions. The popular belief about the skull is that it belongs to a creature that is not of planet Earth. Others simply believe the skull belonged to someone with certain conditions or anomalies. Another argument is that the skull belonged to a child who suffered from hydrocephalus, a condition characterized by head enlargement in infants. Other possible conditions for the bearer of the Starchild Skull could also be a genetic syndrome called craniosynostosis. Lloyd Pye, the man who obtained this skull, claimed the skull used to be the hybrid child of a human and an extraterrestrial being. Skulls weren't the only objects buried next to bones that were presumed to be foreign to this world. The Iude aluminum wedge. The Iude aluminum wedge is an unusual object buried next to ancient bones and found by archaeologists in 1974. Experts found this object puzzling because it is made from material that did not exist in the year it was dated to. Aluminum was not largely produced until the late 19th century. The Iude aluminum wedge was found next to mastodon bones, which are about 11,000 years old. Going by this logic, the wedge should not have been in existence for that long, because humans only learned to craft and extract aluminum a few centuries ago. The wedge is about 20 centimeters long, and it primarily consists of aluminum alongside other less dominant elements. The way the Iude aluminum wedge is shaped suggests it is only a piece of a much bigger machine. Some people suggest this object is a piece of a World War II military object, while others claim it is from an alien civilization. Either way, it is unclear how this object ended up buried next to such ancient bones. However, it is worthy of note that the area where the wedge was found was once used as war grounds. Apart from the aluminum wedge, objects that were proven to be traced to outer space have been discovered on Earth. The captivating Allen Hills 84001 Sioux. It is common knowledge that Antarctica is a vast frozen wasteland. What many people do not know is that Antarctica is one of the world's renowned research grounds. Antarctica is also one of the world's best places to spot meteorites. One of the meteorites found in Antarctica is a 4 billion-year-old rock that suggests Mars used to have groundwater. Scientists discovered a meteorite the size of a potato that weighs 4.3 lb in Antarctica. This meteorite's origin was Mars, and it traveled millions of years and miles to arrive at planet Earth. It was named Allen Hills 84001. In 1996, it was revealed that Allen Hills 84001 had fossilized microbes in it. These microbes have many similarities to bacteria, and if this were true, it would be substantial evidence of extraterrestrial life on Earth. Skeptics have suggested the molecules discovered in this rock might not have originated from Mars, but could be terrestrial contamination. Scientists and archaeologists have discovered fascinating objects. However, regular citizens like William War Mac Brazel have stumbled upon such things. The Roswell Debris. The year was 1947, and a rancher named William Ware Mac Brazel found strange debris scattered across his sheep pasture in Roswell, New Mexico. He found metallic sticks bound together with a material that looked and felt like plastic, and another material that felt strangely like paper. Puzzled by his new discovery, he went to the local sheriff for help. However, nobody was able to give any credible information on this discovery, not even the Roswell Army airfield. The Roswell Army claimed to have found a flying disc on the field. This flying disc is popularly known in modern times as UFOs. This report got the attention of researchers and the public at large. Conspiracy theorists strongly believed the discovered debris was an alien object. The government dismissed the claims of the UFO as a tattered weather balloon, and the incident was thought of as a hoax and forgotten. However, in the 1990s, the U.S. military published reports about Project Mogul, a top-secret operation that used high-altitude balloons to spy on Soviet Union nuclear tests. The Roswell debris matched the description of the equipment used by the U.S. military during these spying missions. Some people did not believe these reports and labeled them as reports to hide the truth of the strange debris from the world. Unexplained objects that were supposedly interconnected with nature have also been cited. The Bong Pipes. The Bong Pipes, also known as the Dalingha Pipes, can be found in the remote parts of Qinghai Province, China. They are a collection of ancient iron pipe-like objects that are on Mount Baigong, located about 25 miles southwest of Dalingha. These pipes span from the mountain and extend into the lake. They vary in size, from some as large as 40 centimeters in diameter, to some that are so small that they are hardly noticeable. These pipes have existed for thousands of years. This is a puzzling piece of the puzzle, because the pipes consist of iron, including silica and calcium oxide, which hadn't been discovered at the time they date back to. Researchers have experienced difficulty identifying what about 8% of the pipes consist of. This has sparked talks about the Baigon pipes being extraterrestrial. The most popular stance on these pipes is that they are fossilized roots of the trees on that mountain. Which of these stances do you believe? King Tutankhamun's space dagger. A tomb was discovered in the 1920s. It belonged to the young King Tutankhamun, who reigned from 1334 to 1325 BC. They also found a dagger among thousands of buried treasures. This weapon was identified as King Tutankhamun's space dagger. The dagger's blade had a high nickel content and was made from meteoritic iron. Researchers have sought to unravel the composition of this meteorite because it contains elements that seem to be from another planet. King Tutankhamun was mummified after his death in 1323 BC. It was a time when the smelting and production of iron were very rare. In this era, iron was more expensive and valuable than gold and most treasures due to its rarity. There have been theories about ancient Egyptians maintaining diplomatic relations with aliens. Thus, it was a popular belief that this dagger was a gift from alien civilization. Recently, it was discovered that the dagger's composition matched the ones found in the Alexandrian meteorite. The craftsmanship of the dagger also suggests that it is not an Egyptian product. The material and design techniques indicate a high level of craftsmanship. The dagger can be found today, displayed at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. Some of the discovered objects, which may not be from planet Earth, have been sighted in outer space. The Black Knight satellite. There have been stories that a strange satellite has been orbiting planet Earth for over 13,000 years. Knowledge of this satellite only came to light in the 1950s and 1960s, respectively. This mysterious satellite was named the Black Knight. 13,000 years ago, humans had not evolved enough to make space technology. Thus, there are questions about how this satellite got there and has been dated as far back as 13,000 years ago. The Soviet satellite was the first recorded artificial satellite to be sent to outer space. A photo from NASA's STS-88 mission reveals strange objects floating in space. Conspiracy theorists claimed this object was the Black Knight satellite, which was proof that aliens were spying on planet Earth. However, NASA debunked these stories and simply referred to that floating object as space debris. Humans have discovered anomalies in outer space and at the bottom of the ocean which have not been explored to its full potential. The Baltic Sea Anomaly. In 2011, British explorer Peter Lindbergh, Dennis Oberg, and their Swedish team of treasure hunters ventured out into the ocean between Sweden and Finland and discovered something strange at the bottom of the ocean. This discovery is visible in a sonar image taken by Peter Lindbergh himself. Some media publications have suggested the object is a sunken UFO. This discovery is as large as 200 feet in diameter and was found 295 feet underwater. The object is round and has characteristics that suggest it was man-made. The Ocean X diving team shared their findings on the object with researchers. Apart from the findings provided by this team, there is no other known information on the object. No other research team has been interested enough in studying this object. The giant object is described as a rock formation with straight lines, right angles, and stair-like structures and passages. The team also reported that their equipment started to malfunction when they approached it. Some say this mystery body is the remains of a World War II machine because of the proximity of the Baltic Sea to World War II events. As the Baltic Sea Anomaly was discovered in the ocean, the Betz Mystery Sphere was discovered on fire. The Betz Mystery Sphere. In 1974, the Betz family noticed a fire on their fort on George Island in Florida. While investigating this fire, they stumbled on a small spherical metal the size of a bowling ball. The sphere was 8 inches in diameter and weighed 22 pounds. The family took this object home. One day, Terry Betz was playing a guitar in their residence when the sphere reacted to the music by making a throbbing noise. Further investigation revealed this sphere could move on its own and would reverberate upon impact. This reverberation happened whenever the sphere got hit with a hammer. The media and UFO investigators, including Jay Allen, a popular ufologist for the U.S. Navy, labeled the sphere as a stainless steel ball that used to be part of an industrial valve of extraterrestrial origin. A company called Bell and Howell was also said to have produced this object. However, many believe the mystery sphere is a piece of alien technology. Circling back to Japan, a collection of figurines was discovered. What is the mystery behind these figurines? The Dogu Figurines. The Dogu Figurines were found by archaeologists in Japan. They date back to the J-Man period, which is about 14,000 to 400 BC. The small figurines are about 10 to 30 centimeters in height and are made with clay. They also take on the form of strange shapes. It is believed that humans created these works of art with pottery techniques. The dog figurines are best described as abstract works that portray the human figure in very simple ways. By 4000 BC, the art form of the figurines had evolved as they started to have limbs attached to them. By 3000 BC, the artists began to craft fully formed faces for these figurines. Conspiracy theorists have had a lot to say about the Dogu figures. Some believe they are symbolic representations which were inspired by Japanese art. Nobody really knows their functions or significance. Archaeologists claimed the figurines are simply religious idols or talismans used to aid health, childbirth, or offerings. Other possible uses for them include fertility-related rituals because of their depictions of the human female anatomy and features. Another theory about the dog figurines is that they were modeled after extraterrestrial beings who maintained relations with the G-Man people. Similarly, other strange artifacts have been discovered. The Ubad Lizardmen. The Ubad Lizardmen were found on ancient Mesopotamian sites. They date back to 6,500 to 3,800 BC. These figurines display human figures with reptilian heads. These heads have almond-shaped eyes, elongated heads, and lizard-like noses. The purpose of these figurines is unknown and has been subject to theories and speculation. Some suggest the Ubad Lizardmen are representations of deities or supernatural beings. Others speculate they were crafted after non-human creatures called reptilians. Reptilians are supposed creatures with reptile characteristics. Legend says these creatures can hide these traits and blend in with the human populace. Many believe that reptilians have been living among humans since ancient times, concealing their identities. To date, there has been no substantial evidence to back these claims. While reptilians may or may not live among us, humans have detected strange signals from outer space that suggest extraterrestrial creatures are trying to contact the human race. The WOW signal. Humans have detected different kinds of signals from outer space. However, there is one that stands out amongst the others. The WOW signal was detected on August 15, 1977, by a man named Jerry Ehrman. Jerry Ehrman was stationed at the Ohio State University Big Ear Radio Observatory. The strong, narrow-band radio signal was different because of its unusual intensity and pattern. Jerry Ehrman, while listening to this signal, wrote down the word "wow" with an exclamation mark next to the signal's alphanumeric representation on the printout. This is how the name "wow" was coined for it. The WOW signal frequency is about 1420 megahertz, which is the natural frequency of hydrogen. Some suggest that this signal is a call from intelligent life trying to make contact with humans. Recently, it was revealed that this signal could have been from a hydrogen cloud passing through the sky area at the time of the observation in 1977. Another unexplained object that might not have originated here on Earth is the Fuente Magna Bowl. The Fuente Magna Bowl. The Fuente Magna Bowl was discovered in 1958 close to Lake Titicaca in Bolivia. The bowl was made of stone and had anthropomorphic characters, scripts, and motifs engraved on it. It was kept in the storage of the Museo de Metales Preciosos until Bolivian researchers conducted investigations to reveal the origin of the bowl. The bowl was in the possession of a local pig farmer who knew nothing of its importance and used it as a food bowl for his animals before it was taken to a museum. Experts like Dr. Clyde Winters tried to make sense of the inscriptions on the bowl. He suggested that these inscriptions might represent Proto-Sumerian script that translates to ceremonial and religious meanings, specifically for a goddess named Nia. Some people claim that the Fuente Magna Bowl has extraterrestrial origins. Many of these archaeological and historical findings have been linked to outer space, Earth's interstellar visitor. Astronomers at the University of Hawaii discovered the first interstellar object passing through our solar system. This object was the first of its kind and was seen through the lens of the Pan-STARRS telescope. The Oumuamua, which was discovered in October 2017, could not be properly classified. It was mistaken for a comet at first. This object didn't have the characteristics of a comet, which has a tail or coma. Its physical properties were also unusual. The cylindrical object, estimated to be on 4th mile long, has a dark red surface. This is a characteristic of objects found in our outer solar system. These findings suggest the object has a composition that is rich in organic compounds that have been irradiated by cosmic rays for hundreds of millions of years. To date, there is no clarity as to whether this space object is a comet, an asteroid, or an alien spaceship that just happens to be passing through our solar system. Mysterious findings on planet Earth are not limited to objects. Some of them are archaeological sites. The walls of Sacsayhuaman. The walls of Sacsayhuaman are located on the northern outskirts of Cusco, Peru. The walls consist of large, dry stones, and it has become an archaeological site. The Sacsayhuaman walls were built over 6 centuries ago, and the stones they are made of weigh up to 200 tons. These stones are carefully cut and pieced together without mortar. The walls form a zigzag pattern and were erected with such accuracy that an object as thin as a pin or a piece of paper could not find their way through the cracks in the walls. Scientists have found these interlocking shapes puzzling, and the technology used to erect this perfect structure 6 centuries ago is unknown. There are speculations that a wooden outline of the wall gaps may have been used to achieve such perfection. The Sacsayhuaman walls could have been built by cutting and shaping the stones before they were assembled. There are assumptions that the Sacsayhuaman people couldn't have achieved such a feat on their own, without help and technology from advanced races. Similar to the walls of Sacsayhuaman are the Puma Punu walls. The uncommon nature of Puma Punu. Puma Punu translates to the door of the puma. This site was built between 700 and 1000 AD, at a time when the Tiwanaku Empire was at its peak. The empire dominated its region by spreading its influence through Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. The site is a historical and archaeological wonder. The stones used for the buildings and the terraces are carved with red sandstone blocks that shone brightly under the sun. The walls of Puma Punu weigh as much as 28,000 pounds. Researchers have wondered how people with no modern tools or technology succeeded in mining, transporting, and building these walls. Socket-like holes have been discovered in some of these walls. This could suggest that the people of Puma Punu had advanced knowledge that was uncommon in that era. The statues of Easter Island have been cited in literary and visual art forms. Here is the story behind them. Moai statues of Easter Island. There are several conspiracy theories and stories about the Moai statues of Easter Island. They are huge, monolithic figures carved by the Polynesian natives of the island between 1250 and 1500 AD. These statues were made from tough, compressed volcanic ash gotten from Ronavaroko, a volcanic crater. These statues are known for their human-like features, which are rather large. These features include a broad nose, rectangular ears, and deep eye slits. Researchers have tried to find out who these statues represent. It is unclear whether they were molded after Polynesian ancestors or extraterrestrial creatures that might have come into contact with the people at the time. Thank you for watching. Comment to share what you think in the comment section below. Remember to like and subscribe to see more videos.